What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be playing around with a title called Folk Hero and deciding if this is something that deserves a spot on your coveted wish list. Folk Hero is a top-down action RPG with a charming little art style that kind of reminds me of something like In Celebration of Violence meets Super Brothers Swords and Sorcery is kind of what it reminds me of. The combat is visceral, it feels fast, it feels good, it feels very soulsy, but they've taken that combat and they've packaged it into sort of like a roguelite action RPG package where you kind of run, you die, you come back again. Now this one's pretty early on. This is effectively like a proof of concept demo, but as far as the game is concerned, I'm actually pretty happy with this demo from what I've played so far. So let's dive on in, let's play for about 30 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this you wanted to get the game, I got a link for you down below and the demo is freely available. On top of that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream just in case you wanted to hang out with me live on any given day of the week. We're going to dive on into my save slot over here and it's peerless. You see how fast that loaded? I didn't need a load screen or anything. It's straight on into the game. This is the game right here. It controls with W, A, S, and D, and even inside of this demo, the game does support controllers. So if you're the kind of person that prefers an analog stick and like an X, Y, A, B setup, you can do that inside of this demo. Our left click is going to make us do a sword strike. As you can see, we've got stamina. It's not incredibly punishing. I found that stamina is really only a problem if you get really, really greedy. And that's good because I'm a pretty greedy game in precision-based fighters like this. Aside from that, we're going to go on into a dungeon that's on that little evil island back there, and while we're in there, we're going to be picking up various items that affect the way that we play the game, you know, gems that give us lifesteal. The influences that I felt the most with this game was actually the Binding of Isaac, oddly enough, because it's got a cell-based map. There's a dog over here, hold on. I'm going to dodge out of his... I found, like, normally, I am not a ranged player at all in titles like this. But in this game, the ranged combat feels really good. So rather than having the player manually target, because the sprite size in this game is very small, as you can see, the size of the sprites is kind of tiny. I'm guessing what happened is they were designing this game, and people were having trouble hitting shots because the characters are kind of small, and the hitboxes are kind of small. So they were like, well, what if we go with like a lock-on system that just machine guns the enemy with arrows when you hold down right-click? This was a very astute idea. This was a very, very intelligent addition because it makes the range combat in this game feel very good. That in combination with, let's see, what is this? Liko's Eye deals 40% additional damage to enemies with 2 or more of the effect. I'm guessing that means if I have 2 debuffs on an enemy, it means that I deal a lot more damage to them. I'm not totally sure that that's what that means. It might need a little bit further of clarification, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. But as I was saying, they also subtly, while you're machine gunning the enemy with arrows, watch this. Let me find a bad guy here. But there's a very subtle shift in frame of reference in the camera once you lock onto an enemy and start firing. This is also a really good change, because if your eye line is naturally locked to this centralized character right here, you're going to have to move your eye to see where you're shooting at. Instead, when you're locked onto someone and firing, it moves the camera ever so slightly, and it makes them the focus of attention so that you can kind of see their health bar and how it's moving, but you still have a view of your character just in case you're being chased by multiple guys. And so, like, I like that system very well. It looks like it kind of splits the difference between you and the enemy, and I found that the targeting camera for the right-click bow usage is very peerless, actually. It feels really good. Like, it feels quite nice. And so this is one of those games that I feel like the developers really have the feel of what they want it to play like down. It feels solid even at its early iteration right now, and I think the developers should probably be proud of that. This plays a lot better than a lot of the close combat Soulsy-inspired action RPGs that I play, and it's still in demo form and has loads of placeholders, and it's clear that it's pretty early on in development. It already feels this good, and since the combat in a game like this is basically the first thing you want to have sorted out and solid, I think they have a really good foundation to build from. Now, at this vendor right here, as you can see, as we're going left and right, we're going through sort of like Zelda-style doors, and this is where I started to think of the game as not necessarily a Soulsy action RPG. Instead, I started thinking of it as the Binding of Isaac. The moment that I saw this and I started seeing the item drops, I was like, oh, this is medieval fantasy hack and slash Binding of Isaac. So this is Binding of Isaac that's focusing more on like a Soulsy style of combat than what I initially surmised it would be, which was like a narrative-based game from some of the pressers and things that I saw. And what does this do? Increase, you've got a banner. Increase your attack speed, damage, and armor inside area of effect for 10 seconds. We have 500 bucks. I'll take it. That gives us an active ability that we can drop. Attacking bleeding enemies can heal you by 1%. Kills restore your health. I want that. Give me the heal per enemy that I kill. That sounds great. We've got blacksmiths on the left, and oh no, I stepped on a trap, dude. I was looking at the map and not paying attention. I was kind of autopiloting, and so now I've lost a whole bunch of health. Getting hit in this game is punishing. However, when you do get hit in this game, you feel it. You feel it a lot, and it makes you want to be more precise in the way that you play the game. The other thing that's kind of cool is booby traps and stuff affect the enemy as well as you, and the game does a really good job. Actually, maybe Risk of Rain was also an influence here as well. Now that I think about it, I'm feeling Risk of Rain in here too. Aren't you seeing that? Like you're seeing I was going to say Binding of Isaac, but the game drops so many items that actually I think I'm shifting my frame of reference now to more of like a Risk of Rain type experience. But either way, I guess Risk of Rain and Binding of Isaac are both kind of barking up the same tree. It's just that one is like an endless wave annihilation game, and the other is like a grid cell Zelda dungeon dive version of the same thing. Enemies that are slowed to take 30%. Okay, I don't have anything that slows right now, but I'll take it. We've also got a unknown potion right there. It raised my crit damage by 10%. Now, can I see these stats anywhere? If I like tab in. There we go. Okay, so we've got character parameters right here. What I would suggest is add a toggle in your options. Yeah, add a toggle in your options. Well, maybe it's in the display tab over here. It is not. Okay, so what you're going to want to do here is while they're tabbed into here, add a toggle to your options that puts all of these stats on screen in a bar, just like Binding of Isaac has. People that play granular games like this that are all about synergies and the way individual items stack and interact with one another, they like to have that stuff on screen so that they can make educated decisions about whether or not they want to pick up a certain item, especially once they start to get towards the phase of the game where it's hard to tell with all the item interactions if this is going to like help or harm you. You know what I mean? Oh, good. We're getting our health back really nicely. Good, 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 good. And we've got enough money for upgrades, too. So here at the blacksmith, we can get the next level of our melee attack, the next level of our archery attack, the next level of our whirlwind attack, which I haven't even showed you yet. You can press the shift key, and you'll do basically a Diablo-style whirlwind where he goes, yeah! And he just, like, spins in a circle and hits everything around him with his sword. I would probably go with one of each. Oh, you only get one upgrade. That's right. I got to go north. I stepped on another trap. I was looking at the... Okay, what I've learned here today is to stop looking at the map. That's what I've learned. I am no longer going to look at the map. Every time I look at the map, I step in a bear trap, and like my feet can't handle any more damage. I love that the range on the bow is unlimited. It gives the game a very satisfying sort of old Gauntlet feeling. Like Gauntlet 3 or like Gauntlet 2. It's got like a nice feeling. I'm that old. I'm that old where I'm referencing Gauntlet 1 and 2 and 3. I'd wager a guess that the oldest that a lot of people remember from the Gauntlet series would be Gauntlet Legends, since I think that was the one Gauntlet game that went like crazy viral for the time and everybody loved it. Let's take our bow up to the next level. That sounds good, so that it's benefiting from our crit, right? Is that what's happening here? It is. So every time you level it up, it gets more damage, but it also gets a little perk added to it. I don't know if the perk is randomized, but it looks like combo attacks increase your crit chance by 3% for every 10 hits, maybe? I don't know. That doesn't read super clear, so maybe a little bit of work left to be done on the localization and making it super clear what each item does. But we are getting some kind of bonus based on the amount of combo hits that we have to our critical strike chance. It looks like we can only really go up right here, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we got a werewolf. That's okay, I'll drop you both. How long does the combo stay on you? Okay, so it's got a very slight fade. Did that bat just make a pig noise? Horrifying. Yeah, let's go ahead and, like, I'm going to throw off one of those bad boys right there. He's just like jumping around. I don't even know what he's up to, but we got ourselves healed, so that's good. Kill combos are looking pretty good. I'm trying to flow through the level a little bit faster. Might be a good idea to put a little meter next to the player, underneath the player, that lets them know the duration. of their combo so that they can know whether to rush or not and like to move along. Ow, dude, that hurt so much. I dodged in an unintended direction. Oh, we traded. Okay, well, that's that. Once you're dead, you're back to the island. That's it. There's supposed to be metagame upgrades, so this is going to be a roguelite, and I'm guessing you're going to develop out this camp and get more people and, like, upgrade their little stalls and, like, upgrade their little houses and stuff in order to get things up higher. But for right now, if you talk to this guy, it just says the Feral version will have upgrades here, and then it gives you a preview of all the different characters you're going to be able to play as, so on and so forth. But let's take this thing for another ride, because I'm not satisfied with that last run. This time, I'm going to spend less time explaining and more time playing. Let's come around the corner. We'll get this guy with a bow shot, knock him on down. We'll collect his silver. Make the silver sound more satisfying. When you pick it up, you want that really satisfying sound of like a coin landing on other coins, that ka-chunk noise, you know. And then the coin, when you pick it up, it should go up to the place where coins are listed, so it should make the coin noise. It should float up over to here, and then it should go ticket, 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 ticket as it goes upwards towards the 50 increment. Feels very satisfying. It gives people an audio-visual feel to their pickups, which, verified in my opinion, makes picking up loot just much more satisfying. Sound effect sounds really good on the health pickup right there that we got off that enemy. What's this guy got going on? A rune of burning. I like the sound of that. Okay. Rune of burning. I'm going to put it on my bow. And now you can barely see it. Maybe amp that graphic up a little bit or just turn the arrow into a fireball altogether. But you can see that there's like tiny little pixels coming off my arrow now when it flies across the screen. It also sometimes feels like my arrows are increasing in speed. Like they're almost like a bolter round from Warhammer 40k. Like I'm not just firing arrows, I'm firing rocket-propelled arrows. But I can't tell if it's just like a visual bias or not. I don't think they're picking up speed. I think it's just the perspective of the camera, but it sometimes feels like my arrows are getting faster the further away from me they are. And now with the flame effect on the back, it's almost like there's a retro booster on the arrow kicking off that's firing it forward, which is undoubtedly rad as hell. That's super cool. What does this do? Oh, it just heals me. Nice. I've never seen one of those before. Those haven't come up in my playthroughs, so... Oh, there's a heart on the map tile. I'm making a conscious effort not to look at the map right now because I keep killing myself by looking at the map and stepping on bear traps. This is kind of a big, wide open area. I'm liking the difference between some of the zones. Like, some of them are very tight, forested corridors, but some of them are, like, wide open fields. I like that, and there's kind of no limit on the amount of sort of, I guess, clutter that's around. So like random, you know, logs around a campfire, random huts. It feels like this area feels populated but abandoned, basically. Oh no, dude! So there's bad potions too. That's what we've learned. So the potions in this game are kind of like mom's pills from Binding of Isaac. You gotta be you can't just pick them up willy-nilly. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I will from now on avoid the potions unless there is some catastrophic thing about my build that I need to fix right now and it's worth the risk. Next map, let's go! I'm actually kind of liking how all of the sound effects have a little bit of a de-res thing going on too. Like they're a little bit de-resed and they're a little bit compressed, and I think it makes the game sound like really nice. And I think really sort of retro. Like it leans into the retro vibe that the game is going for, but the gameplay feels decidedly modern. I want to give the developers kudos on this one. They've done a good job. The combat feels good. Like I want to play this more. I'm only like an hour and a half into this demo now that I'm recording, but I am very much enjoying what I've seen so far. It's definitely more than the sum of its parts. Like, you see the graphics and you think, okay, it's kind of flat, it's kind of simple. There's not a whole lot of shading or, like, depth to the visual aspect of the game. And I mean, like, sort of like the layering of it artistically. Combo kills increase your attack speed by 10%. Oh, that's kind of cool. So everybody I kill, I attack faster with my sword? Okay, I might need to kill guys with my sword now. That sounds awesome. Not enough stamina. Oh, yeah. I am getting faster. I'm getting, like, way faster. Oh, dude, that's the best pickup ever. The downside is that you're still kind of limited by the availability of stamina. I'm going to check south through the fog of war and make sure we didn't miss a chest or anything down here. We did indeed miss a chest. That's why I looped back. Is that the same potion that messed me over last time? I have question. Oh, wow, the burn damage is actually considerable. It's half of a full attack. Ah, what was that? Oh, God, I'm on fire? Okay. Oh, there's a fire right there. It's behind the... Well, maybe it went out. I don't know. I caught on fire, though. Yeah, so potions, not the best idea, in my opinion. I got that first potion. That first potion gave me like a double stat increase. So I was like, okay, potions should always be imbibed. They're always a good idea. No, that was wrong. That was a terrible conclusion to come from with a sample size of 1. This right here is why we invented the entire range of mathematics called statistics, which, by the way, actually my favorite branch of mathematics, after trigonometry, maybe. I don't know. I found in college that I actually had like a weird fundamental intuitive understanding of trigonometry. It's just a thing that happened. I didn't know. I didn't want to take trigonometry. And then when I was like multiple months into my trigonometry courses, because geology uses a lot of trig, a lot of advanced trig, I found that weirdly enough, trigonometry really gelled with how my brain works and thinks. It was like a fish in water for me. And up until that point, I had always kind of felt like I wasn't good at math. I think that's the thing that lots of people say. They're not good at math. I think you just got to find the math that's right for you. Different people's brains function differently. Calculus can be very confusing for some people, but other people see calculus and it just instantly makes sense. Just kind of, you got to find your branch. And I found statistics to be really entertaining when I took it too. I was actually pretty shocked by how much you could extrapolate from like a sample size of 1,500. Like, you can, within, like, the 99th percentile, you know, like, estimate outcomes of various arrays of unknown data and come really well within the wheelhouse and come up with a pretty... Listen, you guys got to stop giving me these potions. You need to start giving me some items. That one lowered my movement? All right, that's it. We're 3 for 4 right now on these potions being all bad. I'm never touching a potion again. I know I said that on the last map, but I'm saying it again right now. Every single potion goes straight in the garbage. That's a Splattercat promise from here on out. Alright, you guys are dead. Oh no, I have no stamina. Wait, did he light me on fire? I don't even think he hit me. I think it's just contact between the models lights you on fire, maybe. So, we probably want to stick to ranged attack then from now on. I'm going to have to buy these potions. I don't have a choice, because I need to fix all my stats. Yeah, it looks like I think when you get touched by the model, not necessarily hit by the enemy, it transfers the fire over to you. Potion of health. We'll do attack speed. We'll do health. And I'm buying all 3. Hopefully that's fixed a number of the things. Like, I think we lost health from one of our purchases, maybe even 2 of them. I know that we lost attack speed, so we're now only down like minus 5%. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're in an okay spot right now. Actually, don't see the boss arena yet either. I don't know if the boss is going to be randomized. The last time I fought it, it was a big bear. He was pretty dangerous. He was pretty dangerous and cranky. I'm not sure what you know what? I'm not sure what I'm getting lit on fire by at this point. I didn't take any attacks right there until after I was already on fire, and I didn't get lit that time. Huh. I wonder what determines if I catch on fire or not. We gotta sort of like hope and pray one of these guys drops a green orb. Green orb? No green orb. Okay, that's fine. I don't want a green orb. A rune of electricity. Deals damage to enemies in a lightning chain. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get it. Maybe we just got lucky on that last run and had like a lot of item drops. This time it doesn't feel like the game's giving anything up. Oh, I think it leaves little flames on the ground. That's what's happening. And maybe I'm stepping on them. Maybe make those a little bit more visually recognizable. Because it took me a minute to find that we were stepping on little flame piles, because it's only like little 2 or 3 pixels. Oh, I walked into what looks like a kudzu branch, or whatever those things are called from Caves of Cud. Like those kudzu trees, or the kudzu vines, or whatever. Yeah, occasionally the fire jumps off of them and lands on the ground. I just saw him walk into it and get lit. Okay, fair. Now I know what to look for. I just wasn't noticing it the entire... I'm sure you guys were screaming it at me. You guys don't have to focus on commentary and dialogue and, like, parsing what's good or bad about the game on the fly, improvisationally like I do. And it drains a considerable amount of brain power doing that. It takes a lot of your bandwidth. I think a human brain can only process so many things at once, both visually and, like, dialogue and, you know, audio-wise. Ooh, our sword has like a little yellow thing to it now when we swing it. Cool. And combo skills increase your attack speed by 15%. Archery spends less stamina. Yeah, I'll probably go with the less stamina spends. We've been using the bow a lot just because of the flame effect, so I'll probably leave it alone. I think we need to go down and we need to loop down and do these two areas and see if the boss is in either of them. Respawns maybe? I thought we had already been on this map, but maybe this was just an area that I hadn't plunged yet. Oh boy. Yep, okay. Light that guy off just to get a couple of these dudes out. Oh, he fired an arrow back just to get these guys from out under my butt cheeks. Good stuff. We have an opportunity to recoup a lot of health. Oh, they can hit each other too. Wait, how did I do that? Oh, my combo's at 12. I didn't even realize. We're attacking so fast that the game can't register the hits. Awesome. Just awesome. Let's add burning and electricity. I wonder if the lightning arcs will also light other guys on fire. So not only do we get both of the applications on the enemy that we struck, but when the lightning jumps, does it also inherit the burning damage? Because if so, I see some very real build-making opportunities in this game already, and that's the type of stuff that I look for when it comes to games that are inspired by The Binding of Isaac or Risk of Rain. It's all about that interactivity. It's all about the way that the items affect one another, and your stats affect items. People love the rote memorization of just grids of things like that, you know? Like, when do you pick up mom's underwear versus when do you not? When do you take a pill versus when do you not take a pill? You know, when do you take shoop de whoop, you know? It's one of those things that people really enjoy memorizing, sort of these chains of effects, and what affects this and what affects that, and if you have these two items, does it affect that item? No, it doesn't. People love ferreting that stuff out and, like, putting it on a wiki somewhere. And so, if this game, I think, can lean into that Binding of Isaac angle and that Risk of Rain angle, it's probably got a solid future in front of it because the fundamentals feel good right now. I don't really have any problems with the way the game plays or feels on, like, a melee level. It all feels pretty good to me. If you could stop putting flame piles everywhere, that would be great. I fear for my safety. Alright, so we've got that covered. Let's take a look around here. This is obviously not the boss arena. Oh, he's up above me. Okay. Is the gold coin, is that a shop? Because I've got lots of money and I would love to spend it. I love how open-handed this game is with Oh! I didn't know he could dash that far. I love how open-handed this game is, kind of with the amount of items and upgrades and things that it gives you. Like last run, we had a lot of sort of Binding of Isaac style items. This time around, we've got a lot of upgrades and we've got a lot of weapon enchants, but we have no items. And so different runs feel like they play out in different ways already. I was a little bit worried that this run was going to be less interesting, but I'm actually, like, more interested right... Man, I think the lightning does transfer the burn, by the way. So yeah, this game is on a great path. I'm a true believer now. These developers know how to make something fun. They know how to make something interactive. They know how to make combat that feels good too. And so I think for a demo, this game is off to just an utterly fantastic start. The source also increases the chance of a critical hit by 5%. A banner, storm in a bottle, pushes your enemies around. Okay. Sir, I'm trying to conduct artless commerce right now. Can you please leave me alone? Thank you. I'm going to take another banner. We lost a lot of health right there, which kind of bums me out. I wish we had not lost this much health. I think maybe we go north. Although I don't know if I'm far enough right. I think I am, because I'm right next to the corner of the map. One thing they could do to make that clear is when you get to the point where this little U's pop-up comes up, it should flash on the map which one of these you're going to. In the case of long tiles connected to square tiles, Just so the player's sure, because I could foresee a situation where maybe it was scooted over to like right here just based on procedural generation, and then the player would be kind of up in the air, but it looks like they divide it with collision, maybe with the environment too, because they've got this little forested chunk right here. Still, when this pops up, make this blink a little bit over here so that players know where they're going. It's possible that I'm just really stupid compared to all the other players. Wow, that lightning bounces, man. Like, it's actually got some serious oomph to it. Oh, God. Okay, yep, there's more of you. I'm really, really liking the increase in enemy density here, too. Ow. Okay, this might be pretty close to the end. You just do me a favor and burn, baby, burn. Man, he does not want to get shot with an arrow. Okay. Sorry about that. That was not your Discord. That was my Discord. Somebody apparently decided to @me me while I was recording. It happens. You get used to these things. There's like a gazillion people in my Discord now, and so these things tend to happen. Increased damage while below health. Not a bad idea considering how beat up we are. Stun nearby enemies for 5 seconds. I could probably do something like that. A stun feels like it may save me at some point. But that's assuming that I recall to save myself that I have a hammer, so in the heat of the moment, sometimes consumables get thrown out with the bathwater. Okay, a couple more enemies down. That guy's firing from the bushes, man. He just tried to bush Wookie me. A rune of bleeding. Well, we already have fire on everything, but fire turned out to be a big liability to my safety. And so I'm kind of like afraid of fire now. Got him. All right, good. Killed him. Perfect. I'm going to go with bleeding, I think. We'll go. Okay, so you can only have 2 enchants on a weapon. Because if you looked... Oof. Anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by lycanthropy, if you took a look, it rotates. You can only have 2 enchants on a weapon. When we wanted to put bleeding on our bow, it said that we had burning plus bleed, so it actually shifted the lightning off. We don't want that. We want our lightning to cause bleeding, and we want our lightning to cause burning from both of our weapons. And so we now have a nice little combo on each side that I think is going to work out pretty well. Let's go see this boss. I think we're in one-shot range for the boss, so I don't know how long the actual confrontation is going to last. But I'll do my best here. The Rotten Bear. Okay, yeah, he don't like the fact that... Okay. Well, I think if... Oh, God, he did it again. Okay. Well, I think if I can keep the fire on him, we'll be okay. I don't want to overdo it with my bow either. And, like, have no stamina left to dodge. There we go. Give him a little one of those. Let him feel it. Okay, almost ate that one. Hitboxes seem fairly precise, though, so I did not get hit right there. And it looks like there's no damage on touch. Like, the enemy actually has to, like, animation hit you, which is really nice, too. I cannot stand damage on touch in video games. The HP pool on this guy, though. Oh, I ran out of... I literally called out that was going to happen. I said I need to stop firing so many arrows and conserve some stamina for repeat dodges. And then I was just like, ah! And I got greedy. This is great. I think my suggestions stand. That, you know, let the player have the stats on screen over here. Along with, like, what's missing. There's no movement speed on there. I'd like to see that. I would like to also see, like, dodge efficiency on there, so you could find some items that lower the amount of stamina it takes to dodge, and maybe also dodge cooldown could be lowered and raised by things. I mean, I feel like the more gritty you get right here, the more items you can put into the game and the more interactions you'll have, and I think the more fascinated people will be with this title, but this is Folk Hero. This is great. I don't really have too many complaints about it. Most of it was just little tiny observations about, UI helpers and stuff. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Folk Hero. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Take care, folks.